Hey everybody, and Tony here with a review of Tchaikovsky's Sleeping Beauty, headed by the Russian National Ballet, which I saw at the Urania Berlin, and this was also the final show I caught for this Tchaikovsky Ballet weekend. With that said, let's get on to what I thought about the production and costumes. Overall, I found the production to be lovely. With some nice backdrops and such lovely scenery, I have to say that the entire production made me feel like I was in a well-illustrated storybook. The lighting was also well done, yet there were some moments in which the lighting, especially when the stage is lit in red, felt rather harsh to my eyes, but it still managed to convey the mood of each scene so well that I was practically captivated. Yet more than anything, the costumes were magnificent. Each of the costumes were colorful, elegant, and they managed to fit the dancers so superbly. So I'm not going to mince words here. The overall production design and costumes were absolutely well done from beginning to end, with such vivid production designs, lovely costumes, and some really decent lighting here and there. I have to say that everything managed to hold up pretty well. And now we get to the dancers, starting off with our main heroine, Princess Aurora, who was danced by Anastasia Abramova. And she was able to be so lively in this particular character. What made her so wonderful to witness as Princess Aurora is her charisma, her charm, and how lovely she looked in each of her costumes, whether it be her red and pink outfit in her very first appearance, her pink tutu in the third act, and in the final scene, we get to see her in a lovely white dress. She not only danced the part with such fine precision, but she was also able to bring out the overall joy and the overall enthusiasm and the overall youthfulness of this part. Even when Princess Aurora pricks her finger on the spindle, Abramova managed to make her feel like she's still okay and she's still trying to get up, but it's all too late. The way she was able to kind of deny the curse at first was quite involving, and how she was able to faint on stage was very believable. I have to give Anastasia Abramova loads of kudos for everything she did with Princess Aurora. She made her youthful and charming, and she just made her all the more lovable as a character. Then we have Prince Desiree, who was done by Philip Barkachev, and he had a certain nobility to this role. The way he was able to use his tall and handsome presence, which is so alluring to witness, and the way he was able to make Prince Desiree a noble figure was completely alluring. He was able to find a lot of moments where the prince is able to emote, and he is able to find certain moments where he was able to make this character come alive, all thanks to that dashing and that debonair presence he has. He was an alluring dancing actor, and I cannot wait to see a lot more of him. Stealing the show as the Lilac Fairy was Anna Seregina, who made this particular fairy so wonderfully lovely to look at, and she was just an overall darling on stage. She was able to make me love her, not only as the character that she portrayed, being the Lilac Fairy, but as a great dancing actress. She managed to imbue the Lilac Fairy with enthusiasm, charm, and that sparkiness that made her come alive as a wonderful dancing actress. There is that girlishness that she also gave to this particular character, and she was an absolutely wonderful performer from beginning to end. Also stealing the show was Andre Subotin as the evil fairy Carabosse. The way he was able to make her slither around the stage like a serpent was very masterful, and his performance of Carabosse can easily be up there with Margaret Hamilton's performance of the Wicked Witch of the West from The Wizard of Oz. He was able to imbue Carabosse's nasty, spiteful, and dare I say hammy nature, and he did so in a way which made her terrifying and made her all the more enjoyable as a character because of the fact that she is a pretty terrifying villainess whom no one wants to mess with any time of the day. He was an absolutely involved and charismatic dancing actor that I give Mr. Zubotin a lot of kudos for everything he did embodying this iconic villainess. Rostislav Densitsky and Oksana Mokaeva brought in a lot of nobility to the king and queen. They were able to embody these roles with dignity, purity, and a lot of nobility, which made them stand out so well as actors. They were in their strongest when they embodied these roles that I was practically in awe with everything they had to offer. Even though they didn't do a hell lot of dancing, their presence on stage made them all the more alluring and all the more wonderful to witness because of how much professionalism these two have. Mikhail Yakovlev was an absolutely fine master of ceremonies with his superb comic timing and the way he was able to embody the master of ceremonies with a fair amount of fun and that fun-loving nature that he managed to give with this role. I thought that he was an absolutely wonderful character actor from beginning to end, and I can definitely tell that he had a lot of fun embodying the Master of Ceremonies. We also had such superb dancing from Tatiana Alpidovskaya, who embodied the Fairy of Beauty, Sanae Himori, who embodied both the Fairy of Wisdom and Princess Florina, Valeria Budaeva, who embodied the Sapphire Fairy, all thanks to her lovely and lithe physique, Ludmila Sakharova, who embodied the Fairy of Bravery, Dmitry Abramov, Dmitry Polyakov, Konstantin Dunaev, and Karim Mubarakshim, who managed to embody the four cavaliers with their dashing stage presences and their overall flair for their love of the dance and of course their wonderful collaboration. And let's not forget about Konstantin Dunaev's sparky performance as Puss in Boots and Olga Pavlovich's wonderful portrayal of his kitten girlfriend, Gao Ji-zhong's virile performance as the Bluebird, and Bulat Katin's and Ulyana Alpidovskaya's wonderful portrayal as both the Big Bad Wolf and Little Red Riding Hood. So I have to give a huge round of applause for all of the dancers involved in the Russian National Ballet for making this performance of Sleeping Beauty so worthwhile to watch. And returning as our narrator was once again our friendly storyteller, Jeannie, portrayed once again wonderfully by Marina Benyashvili, whose charisma and whose overall charm made her so infectious. Unfortunately, she did suffer a cough while the story was still going on, but I still have to give her a lot of credit for pulling through and making this performance so worthwhile to watch. And to Marina, if you're watching this, I hope you do get well soon because your performance as Jeannie was infectiously wonderful with that charisma you managed to give and the way you were able to embody this character with charm and enthusiasm. And I just loved seeing your energy on stage. So get well soon, and I hope to see you in the near future. So, overall, what a way to wrap up my Tchaikovsky Ballet weekend with not only one of my most favorite ballets of all time, but a ballet which is based on one of my most favorite fairy tales of all time. With such great dancing, a colorful production, and such lovely costumes, and of course, some charismatic narrating done by Jeannie, played by Marina Beniashvili, this was definitely an afternoon that was so worthwhile. And for those of you who caught this production of Sleeping Beauty, what did you think of it? Did you feel like Anastasia Abramova and Philip Parkachev were at their absolute peak as the main couple? Did you feel like there was another dancer who stole the show, like Andrei Subbotin? Or did you feel like there was something that just didn't really hold up? Comment below and let me know. Well, that's all for now. Be sure to tune in tomorrow where I hopefully catch Edita Gruberova's 50-year Jubilee concert. So until then, good night everybody and happy first Advent.